Good morning everybody and welcome to part 3 of our Salzkammergut series. Specifically, today is all about Traunkirchen and it should be a lot of fun as we explore the town, go to one of Austria's most exclusive restaurants, go on a vintage boat ride and even end the day in an Alpine sauna. It should be an incredible amount of fun. Let's go check it out.
For those of you that haven't been keeping up with the series, no worries, you can watch those videos later. But for now, let's have a quick refresher on the Salzkammergut, or as I've been calling it, the Lake District of Austria. Part 1 covered my greatest hit single day trip itinerary in Salzburg, chock full of cemeteries, castles, and cocktails. It was a lot of fun. And Part 2 finally took us out to the lakes where we settled down in Traunsee, exploring the largest town of Gmunden, famous for its ceramics, walking the beautiful waterfront pass to the epic Schloss Ort, before finally we set sail across the lake to my new favorite mini hike, the Miesweg. It's been an action-packed trip so far, with no signs of slowing down either, as later on this week in parts 4 and 5, we have an incredible cogwheel train ride planned, and even a trip to Hallstatt to talk about over-tourism. However, we aren't even done with Traunsee, as specifically I've chosen the quaint town of Traunkirchen to be my base of operations, and I haven't told you a lick about it yet. So today in part 3, we will explore this little village, its history, and even the special place our hotel has within it, all before we sit down in one of Austria's best restaurants, take a tour on a lake in an old school speedboat, and finally relax our muscles in a modern Alpine sauna. But first, let's have a room tour before we head downstairs for a classic German breakfast.
So this is the view entering in from the balcony. You've got a bed with, where else would you want it to face? But those mountains, just absolutely astonishing. So you've got the bed on your left, little reading and working nook on the right. Kind of really like that. Great little sink and shower nook here. The best part, if we're being honest, you're gonna be able to shower in that awesome rain shower with that view. Also, while we were rummaging through the cupboards, we found a crazy cool amenity. They give you a day backpack, which is great because my backpacks are a little big. We were ready to carry them, but I'd rather carry this. What an awesome little feature. Now, food time. Alright, it was an absolutely fantastic breakfast. I love how light German breakfasts are. I can't imagine going on a big walk after a full English, or God forbid, American pancakes. But out here with just the little deli meats, wonderful bread, it's all about the quality of the little ingredients that you put together. Gets you ready for the day. So let's get started walking around the absolutely beautiful Traunkirchen. Now, what strikes me the most about Traunkirchen is its layout. The whole village is built around a central towering hill topped with an adorable chapel. And spilling out from around this mount are plentiful woods and waterfront, with nice little trails that are well worth a walk, and shallow pools which are great for kids to paddle in, nestled right up against Traunkirchen's miniature harbour. The whole place is incredibly relaxed with a pastoral and family-friendly vibe, as clusters of people gather around the swimming spots to take a dip, rent a boat, or even begin their hikes. And though yes, the waterfront isn't nearly as developed as, say, Gmunden from yesterday, instead you're given a much better place to grab an ice cream and sit in the grass, marveling at the beautiful lake-set mountains surrounding us. And hey, even if you aren't an avid hiker, I'd recommend you make the quick pilgrimage to the lofty chapel, as you'll be fast awarded with some great views, which is exactly what I did to work up my appetite. So what else can we say about my new little slice of paradise here in Traunkirchen? Well, it's actually got some really fascinating history. You see, the road that connects Ebensee, just down that way, and Traunkirchen here, in fact, the road that connects the north with the interior of the Salzkammergut that we'll be exploring through the rest of this vacation, well, that's new, at least relatively speaking to how old this area is. So the north of Austria and everyone coming through those central plains would have to come down to Traunkirchen to get on a boat to actually enter the Salzkammergut. In fact, Prince Joseph himself, when he would have his summer home in Bad Ischl where he would run the Austro-Hungarian Empire, to do that, he would actually stop at the exact same hotel we're staying at, the Post. You see, there are two of them, one here in Traunkirchen and then a sister hotel down in Ebensee. And that would be where you could refresh your horses, deliver your post, and get ready to make the voyage. How cool is that? Though as you can see, none of that is necessary now, since they blasted a hole through the mountain to let cars and carriages through. Another really fascinating fact is that Traunkirchen, the name meaning Traun, Traunsee, right, named after the lake, and then Kirchen meaning church, well, this is the Traun Church. But more than that, this is actually the central Christian place of the entire Salzkammergut. So for all of the main and most important masses, the entire Salzkammergut region would need to come up through Ebensee to the Post, get onto their boats and come up here to worship appropriately. Hence why we have this magnificent church on the hill and a pretty big monastery to boot as well. All right, so I think this about concludes our wonderful little tour of Traunkirchen, its woods and its waterfront. And it's about time too, because I am absolutely starving. And do I have a treat for us? You see, I managed to snag reservations at the most exclusive restaurant in the entire Salzkammergut, restaurant Bootshaus. This restaurant has been building up its reputation for the past 10 years as the culinary stop in the Salzkammergut, with an incredibly creative menu that emphasizes quality, creativity, and locally sourced ingredients. So let's go see if it can hold up to all that hype. Sure hope it can. So what's the deal with Restaurant Bootshaus and why have I gone out of my way to make this a big part of my itinerary? Well, quite frankly, it could easily be the best restaurant in the region and a top contender overall in Austria. So it's more than ready for the status as a tentpole activity during your vacation. Set inside the beautiful lakefront Sehr Hotel in Traunkirchen, this restaurant offers a wonderful and very comfortable dining experience overlooking Lake Traunsee, which is really important as in line with European fine dining, you're going to be here for quite some time, a couple hours at least, as you journey along their curated set menu. Now, long story short, how's the food? It's absolutely phenomenal. With an exceptional head chef and management more than willing to empower him, this menu takes Alpine cuisine to a level I've just never seen before. Let's just say this isn't your granddad's schnitzel, you know? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you are in the mood for a unique dining experience where locally sourced and even foraged ingredients are turned on their heads, then this is for you. It all starts with the ever-friendly waitstaff bringing over not a paper menu for you to read about the dishes, but instead an overflowing cart of ingredients themselves. Locally caught fish, foraged pine buds, and I didn't even know those were edible, wild strawberries and asparagus along with their cultivated counterparts. It's overwhelming, but also an opportunity to discuss dietary restrictions, allergies, and preferences. If you're a pescatarian like Camille, then the local venison probably isn't for you, though I won't tell if you cheat just once. So instead, let them know and they'll gladly accommodate as best they can. Then grab yourself a cocktail and settle in. It isn't going to be cheap and it isn't going to be quick, but this is going to be your afternoon tentpole activity and it's completely worth it, at least for the right person like myself. So I'd rate it 100%, 5 stars, 10 out of 10. All right, that meal was absolutely legendary. It really did live up to the hype. And it most definitely also lives up to how difficult it is to get a reservation there, which is something I haven't mentioned yet. You see, this restaurant books up 6 weeks, a couple months in advance. In fact, last year, every day it was open, it was 100% full. The only reason we were able to get a reservation, because I completely dilly-dallied and didn't get one before coming here, was by going every morning and asking at the reception desk if they had any cancellations, and we were lucky enough to snag a lunchtime spot. And now for the next part of the video, I need to throw in a very strong disclaimer. You see, Post am See, the hotel that we've been staying at, and the Seehaus Hotel, the establishment that holds restaurant Bootshaus that we just went to, are actually all owned by the same family. And as a bit of a courtesy, I usually like to send an email out to whatever establishments I'm going to and just say, hey, I'm really hoping to film. If you don't want me to, just let me know. I'd rather know sooner rather than later that I can't film there, you know? And now as a near from home first, they must have really liked what they've seen, at least I hope they did, because they have offered to take us on a wonderful boat ride after lunch. And so I want to make it incredibly clear that this is not sponsored content. I had already booked and paid for my stay before asking filming permission, and I didn't even realize until we were showing up for lunch that the ownership is the same between both establishments. However, they have graciously offered to take us on that boat ride and give us some filming permission to check out their facilities, which I'm incredibly excited about because I've never been able to do that before, and there are some really cool aspects to Tyrolean and Alpine hotels that I'll finally be able to share with you. That's all for later though. Now, I've got a date with a boat. I have never been on a 1950s era wooden speedboat before. Don't know if that needed to be clarified, but I clearly haven't. I was just an absolute ton of fun. And I've got to admit, I'm pretty tense from all of those crazy turns. Oof. And the owner has very graciously said that we can actually go in the newly renovated sauna, but not only that, I can take you with me. So for the first time ever, I'm actually going to be able to talk about German sauna culture because I'm going to be given the opportunity to film it. I've always wanted to, but the reasons why I haven't are about to become very obvious. Yeah, it's the nudity. You see, strewn all throughout the Alps, sauna complexes are incredibly popular, and they're all about body positivity, relaxation, and wellness. Though mostly customary to wear a robe as you walk around or take a nap, the saunas, showers, and pools are all mixed and nude, which out here is seen as no big deal, as it's not uncommon for partners, friends, or even family to plunge back and forth between all sorts of amazing amenities. From incredibly hot 95°C dry air, menthol-infused saunas to icy showers and a dedicated sleep zone, a sauna complex isn't complete unless it has a plethora of offerings, made all the more memorable when they can include stunning views like this one of Traunsee. Alright, so do I need to tell you that was relaxing? Because I don't think I need to. I love a good Alpine sauna, and that was a really nice one. Getting to look out at the lake while you're sweating, brilliant. But don't worry, there is more to the Salzkammergut than just Traunsee. Tomorrow we're going to be heading over to Wolfgangsee to check out an amazing little train that will take us all the way up the mountain. Take a look.